Hello and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, our bags are packed and we're headed to Sky Harbor International Airport in Phoenix, Arizona, in the States, to jump on an airplane for a mini vacation and to see some family members. I'll let you guess where we're going. And if you know me, you probably know. We got to the airport about 1.5 hours before our plane was scheduled to depart. But security at Sky Harbor Airport is pretty crazy. So that took 30 minutes, and then we had an hour to wait, which was fine with us. I was lucky enough to get a window seat on this flight, and so I am taking the opportunity to film the scenery and the taking off process, as much of it as I can. We taxied along the tarmac for quite a long period of time until we got into the right position to be on the runway. That's a view of the terminal buildings and the parking garage. Getting in line and waiting our turn to take off. You can see this plane is getting ready to take off, and I think we are 2 behind it. My husband laughed at me as I sat next to the window because the window was very smudged, so I took a wet wipe that I have for my glasses out of my purse and cleaned the window before filming so that it would be nice and clear. And here we go. The plane we were on this time was smaller, with just 2 seats on either side of the aisle. And I think because of that, we felt more turbulence in taking off. We have been looking forward to this little getaway for a long time. With this past summer, we had 113 days straight of record-breaking heat, where the temperatures were over 100 degrees, and most of the time into the teens. So the reality of being able to go somewhere a little cooler is just wonderful. I'm not sure, but this might be the Salt River. The name to this uncopyrighted music is called Birds in Flight, so I thought it was very appropriate to play this now. I'm not sure, but I think that this may be the start to the Grand Canyon. About 30 minutes north of Phoenix, we flew over the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is located in Arizona in the United States and is considered one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. It is a steep-sided canyon that was carved out by the Colorado River. It is 277 miles or 446 kilometers long. It is up to 18 miles or 29 kilometers in width. At its deepest point, it has a depth of 6,000 feet. The Empire State Building in New York City is 1,250 feet tall. So if you were going to stack Empire State Buildings into the Grand Canyon at its deepest point, you could get 4, one on top of the other, and almost 5. The depth averages throughout the canyon at 4,000 feet deep. A mile is 5,280 feet. So the depth, or the average depth, of the Grand Canyon is about 3/4 of a mile, or 1.22 kilometers. I thought it was interesting to read, especially since we're flying over it, that the Grand Canyon National Park has 6 no-fly zones to protect the wildlife from the noise of airplanes. These circular crops are called pivots, and they grow in circles because of how they are irrigated or watered. The in-flight snack on Alaska Airlines. I was impressed that it was vegan. It was about 95 degrees Fahrenheit when we left Phoenix at 9 a.m. Check out the frost on the window. And I believe that is the Snake River. even though it's horribly focused. And we have more pivots. Our destination has experienced devastating fires on grazing land and BLM land the last couple of months. It has affected the air quality. It has affected the businesses that raise cattle and I'm sure other animals. And I'm interested to see how it will affect beef prices in the coming months. I didn't realize until I was editing this video that I mispronounced the city's name about 99% of the time. So to all of the locals of the mystery city where we're going to, I apologize for that, and I will try to do better. But I'm not going back and re-editing the whole video. I've already spent a week editing this video, so it probably will only really bug the area locals, and I deeply apologize. Making our final approach to landing. There were two little girls sitting behind us, in the row behind us, and they were hilarious. At one point, when we were getting ready to land, one of the little girls told the other that if she needed to throw up, she could just use her backpack. That gave me enough comic relief to not worry about crashing. I have a daughter who once threw up in her purse when she was riding a roller coaster, so that was extra funny to me. Or maybe it was the Ferris wheel. I honestly can't remember now. It's been so long. And we made it safely to our destination. This sign is another clue as to where we're at. So if you guessed Boise, Idaho, you would be correct. With our final destination being Meridian, Idaho, which is a suburb of Boise. Boise is called the City of Trees. The population of Boise is a little over 235,000 people. Meridian has a population of almost 140,000 people, with an increase of almost 20,000 people from 2020. My sister-in-law's cute fall decorations by the door. We made some paper money origami to make a flower centerpiece for one of the grandchildren who had a birthday. So I'll show you what we did with that. I'll put the link to some of the tutorials which showed us how to make these in the description box. We attached the paper money flowers to wooden skewers and secured them with wire ties and hot glue. We put paper flowers for scrapbooking onto the money flowers with some hot glue and a happy birthday sign and the number of how old the birthday girl was, and secured everything in styrofoam in a bucket with some gift grass on it. There were actually 2 birthdays to celebrate, so we had a family dinner and birthday celebration. It's the next day. My sister-in-law's beautiful garden and the tomatoes that we harvested in the morning. Monday morning, my husband and his brother went to Emmett, Idaho to do some family business. And of course, no trip to Emmett is complete without a trip to the Rowan drive-in, a Wimpy burger, and some potato sticks. This is a Wimpy burger, which is a cheeseburger with a slice of ham on top of it. Game night with the family and the Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints and a nacho bar. And I didn't even know who had won until the next day. I was just there for the nachos. Here we have some toppings to go on our tortilla chips and taco meat. Sliced radishes, sliced green onions, sliced black olives, avocado, cilantro, and some pico de gallo made with the fresh tomatoes we harvested that morning. So we made ourselves the tastiest nachos to watch with the game. And some Mexican blend grated cheese. There is warmed nacho sauce and taco meat on the stove. Spoiler alert, the Chiefs won. Costco tuxedo cake and homemade frosted brownies for dessert. Tuesday afternoon, and my husband and brother-in-law go back to Emmett for business, to do some business they have there, and another lunch at the Rowan. Another thing that Rowan is famous for, other than their good food, is cruise night. It started as an anniversary promotion back in 1988 and has turned into a community event. Each summer on a Saturday for 3 hours, classic cars cruise up and down the main street. It is open for cars made in 1979 or older. If you are interested in either attending or cruising, I will leave the website where you can get more information in the screen above. Dinner that night was at the Golden Star Chinese restaurant in Boise. This appetizer is their pork and seeds, followed by mandarin chicken with fried rice. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law had the beef and broccoli, mandarin chicken, special fried rice, and the deep fried prawns or shrimp. Yours truly had a bacon and tomato sandwich with fries that was delicious. After dinner, we drove by the depot. It was built in 1925 and used as a train depot until the last train rolled out in 1997. Now it is used as a wedding or event venue. And if you turn around, you can see the city lights here. From the depot, we made our way to the Idaho State Capitol building in downtown Boise. Lewiston briefly served as the territorial capital, and then it was moved to Boise in 1864. Idaho became the 43rd state in 1890, and construction began on the state capitol building in 1905. The next day, we decided to hit up several thrift stores in the area. First, we went to Deseret Industries. Here's the wash tub lady. Not sure which street she's on, but she's been here forever, I hear. Next, we went to the Restyle thrift store, where I purchased this. Isn't it cute? I'm limited on what I can take back home, but this will be perfect. It has a basement portion, and so here are some of the books and clothing that are in the basement. And lastly, we went to St. Vincent de Paul thrift store. Lots of decor items to be found, and there was even a big metal chicken and a milk can and a painted watering can. So good things everywhere. If you are local to the Meridian area or just passing through, check out these thrift stores. You won't be disappointed. Boise is home to Boise State University and the Broncos that play in Albertsons Stadium. Albertsons is a big name in Boise, as the first grocery store was opened here in 1939 by Joe Albertson. We don't have changing fall colors or leaf colors in Phoenix, so this was exciting and beautiful. The Morrison-Knudsen Nature Center is a part of the BSU campus and operates in conjunction with Idaho Fish and Game. Admission is free, but donations are gladly accepted. The major ecosystems of Idaho are represented here. And trout, whitefish, ducks, and bass, geese, kingfishers, and songbirds are just some of the animals that live here. Kristen Armstrong is a former professional road bicyclist and 3-time Olympic gold medalist who currently resides in Boise. This beautiful park was renamed for her. And I found out by doing my research that the annual Basque Festival will have a family picnic in the Kristen Armstrong Park on a Sunday. The old Idaho State Penitentiary was built in 1870, and Idaho was still a territory at that time. It was a functional prison from 1872 until 1973. If you're interested in tickets or taking a tour, I've included the website information up above. This is the guardhouse located across the street from the old penitentiary. The bishop's house, also across the street from the penitentiary, is a beautiful Queen Anne style Victorian home that was built in the 1880s. It's not clear if this was the original site of this home or if it was moved later, but it was used to house the Episcopal bishops over the Episcopal diocese and their families, whoever was in charge at the time. It's now used as a wedding, reception, and event venue. This is the warden's home, the warden of the penitentiary. Here are a few pictures of the Capitol building in the day, just taken through the car window. The statue is a depiction of Abraham Lincoln entitled The Emancipator. It was moved to the Capitol Mall grounds in 2009 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday. This is Freak Alley, which is an outdoor art gallery. If you like art, this is very interesting and would be right up your alley. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. So the paintings are painted onto the sides of the brick buildings, and there is a wide variety of different types of subjects. Breaking Boise, which I'm sure is a takeoff on the show Breaking Bad. One of the actors, Aaron Paul, is from the town of Emmett, which is a suburb of Boise. A depiction of Jimi Hendrix. The medium used here was broken mirrors, which is very interesting. Dr. Martin Luther King. They will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Next, we visited the Idaho Candy Company on 8th Street. Auihee is the registered trademark that Idaho Candy Company uses on their products, and it means delightful, beautiful, and satisfying. The company was established in 1901 when T.O. Smith started selling chocolates door to door out of shoeboxes. He later built this factory in 1909, which was recognized as the most modern factory in Boise at the time. There is a small area where you can purchase Idaho Spud bars, Old Faithful bars, cherry cocktail bars, or Huckleberry gems. Here are some of the old molds that they used to make the Idaho Spuds bars. And here is some of the merchandise that they sell. They sell hats and t-shirts, as well as candy bars by the case. You can also purchase a big bag of seconds for $6, which has 30 bars in it. This isn't sponsored, but go to their website, idahospud.com, if you wish to purchase any of their merchandise or gift boxes, which would be great as Christmas gifts. This is Julia Davis Park. The zoo in Boise is located in Julia Davis Park. Gutzon Berglund was the artist of this depiction of Abraham Lincoln. He was also the artist of Mount Rushmore. Berglund was born in St. Charles, Idaho. He died in 1941, so the artist that executed the copy of this sculpture was Irene Deely of Boise. The St. Paul Baptist Church building was saved thanks to Mary Buckner Hardy and moved to this site where it is the oldest African American museum in the Pacific Northwest. The Thomas E. Logan House is a rare surviving adobe structure measuring 22 by 32 feet. This is the Richard Adelman House. He was a saloon owner and miner in Boise. Helen Costin was born in this log cabin in 1863. She was an educator and principal at the Washington School for 25 years. Basque Country is located in Europe on the border between Spain and France. Boise has the largest Basque population in the United States, numbering between 10,000 to 16,000 people. This is the Basque Center located on the Basque Block in Boise. This is the Cyrus Jacobs House. He was the first mayor of Boise, and it's located on the Basque Block. It is the oldest surviving brick home in Boise. After 1910, it was owned by Basque families and became a boarding house primarily for Basque sheep herders. Every year at the end of July, they hold a festival on the Basque Block called the San Ignacio Festival to honor Saint Ignatius of Loyola, the patron saint of the Basques. Every fifth year, it is replaced by Jaiholdi or Hiholdi. I don't know how to pronounce it. And it is a supersized celebration of the Basque or San Ignacio Festival, with more dancing, more music, more food, more sports, more events. The next one will be in summer of 2025. I have put the websites up on the screen if you want more information on the annual event or the event that happens every 5 years. A late lunch at the West Side Drive-In, which was featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. We had hamburgers, and some of us had steak fingers with grilled bread and French fries. The steak fingers are great, and the French fries have a very flavorful seasoning on them. It was all very yummy. The West Side Diner is also known for its Idaho ice cream potato, and I'm sorry, that is a horrible picture of it. If you'd like a better picture, go to thewestsidediner.com online. It is vanilla ice cream shaped like a potato and rolled in cocoa powder, split down the middle like a baked potato would look, and topped with whipped cream and nuts, and served with chocolate sauce around it. Early Friday afternoon, my sister-in-law and I decided to go to the Deseret Industries in Nampa. We found a yard sale on our way, and we stopped at that. And I was able to pick up this spice organizer or cabinet organizer. My husband picked up the little notepads at a yard sale he went to. And then we went to Deseret Industries, and this is what it looked like. If you're local to Nampa, Meridian, and Boise, this Deseret Industries thrift store in Nampa is huge and has a large variety of anything that you could ever want. And I was able to find a few things that would fit into my small suitcase to take home. And I'll show you those in a minute. It makes me laugh that they sort out their kitchen Tupperware and implements by color. I purchased another seasonal decoration and some toys for my grandson. Just a little bit of scenery on the way back to Meridian. The trees are beautiful and the communities are well kept. On the other side here, we still have a lot of farmland. That was a roundabout with a sculpture in the middle. We have cornfields that have dried corn husks that will be made into silage for the animals. Friday afternoon, and the guys were done with their business in Emmett, and so we went out to lunch at a place called Freddy's Steak Burgers. And here is my double steak burger. It was delicious with tater tots. And here is my husband's. He had cheese and tomatoes and onions and lettuce on his. And we had a nice lunch. Old downtown Meridian is charming, and I didn't get quite as many pictures of it as I would have liked to, but here are some. This is a new pub or brewery coming soon called the Loose Screw Beer Company, and the unique thing about that is that the building that it's going into is an old mortuary. And if you have a warped sense of humor, even if you don't, the possibility for jokes with that one are endless. Friday night was our last night together with the family, and my sister-in-law and niece made spaghetti with tossed green salad, and we had that with French bread and butter. For dessert, my sister-in-law had made a Dutch oven apple cobbler, which she served with vanilla ice cream. And we had that as we were playing a card game called 5 Crowns. We will certainly miss being around our family, but I am somewhat anxious to get home as well. back to the Boise airport on Saturday as it was time to catch our flights to go back home. This time we don't have a direct flight, so we're flying into San Francisco, and I had a middle seat this time, so could not get any footage or any video out of the window. But here is a beautiful postcard from the 1930s, late 1930s, that my brother-in-law had that I took pictures of. We arrived in San Francisco and were just barely able to reach the gate as our connecting flight was boarding. So an hour and 35 more minutes left until we get home and back to the heat. But it's supposed to be nice in another week, so it feels good to be home. Even though we miss our family in Boise terribly. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It's free. And I'll see you, or you'll see me, or just hear me in the next video. Bye-bye.